Caleb Williams was just the start. So take a look at some of the other big name quarterback pro days coming up. Tomorrow we have J.J. McCarthy at Michigan's pro day. Then next week on Tuesday we'll see Jaden Daniels from LSU, and Wednesday it's Drake May Day from UNC. So all are expected to come off the board early in the first round. But of those three prospects, whose pro day is the most significant? McCarthy, Daniels, or May, Peter?
Such a loaded question.
I know.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Answer.
A, does it really matter? I don't know. B, is it going to be fun to watch? Yes.
It matters if they do bad, I guess.
There's them. You know? I think Teddy Bridgewater is the only
so hard to do bad.
I remember having an underwhelming pro day. And it was because he changed up his gloves, and it was a whole thing. And that was literally the only one I ever remember, ever. And Teddy still went in the first round. But most significant is the one I would circle and be like, all right, I want to see him do everything and see the throws is J.J. McCarthy. And that's just because the character profile of McCarthy is different than the other two. Now, look, Jaden Daniels is the guy who runs in space. If anything, I want to see Jaden Daniels step on a scale and see what he weighs, because I have no idea what he's actually weighing. Is he 180 or is he 200? I have no idea. McCarthy, the knock is, and there are knocks, as much as his stock is skyrocketing, the knock is he's never had to been the guy to just say, like, hey, go throw the ball 40 times in a game and lead us to victory and throw for 500 yards like the other guys have done. For McCarthy, he had 19 teammates at the Combine because the entire Michigan roster is going pro. He had the best offensive line in college football. He's got 2 wide receivers in college football that you know, are going to be stars. And then, of course, he's got the Harbaugh offense. Now it's an individual workout. So it's just him isolated. Now, of course, he's got his teammates out there, but it's let's see him make all the throws. Can he make that tough one, that, you know, a corner shot that he has to make in a big spot in cold weather? Can he do it? Now, you can't simulate any of this stuff in a pro day. It's on air, and it's not in cold weather. It's in beautiful weather after, you know, all these coaches and GMs spent the night at Zingerman's eating sandwiches the night before. So it's not exactly a pure simulation, but if I am an NFL evaluator, maybe there is some more things you can see from J.J. McCarthy. We know he's going to check the boxes as a leader. We know Harbaugh has already said he's the greatest Michigan quarterback he's ever seen. And we know that his teammates love him, and he did 11 minutes in the booth with Rich Eisen at the Combine, and it looked like a presidential interview. He was so good and impressive. He is as polished as they come. He's great. Is he a great NFL quarterback? I don't know if you can deduct that from here, but I do want to see him make some of the tougher throws and some of the harder throws that maybe some of his contemporaries did make, that Drake May wakes up, rolls out of bed, and throws the ball 60 yards. Can J.J. McCarthy do that? I don't know.
Zingerman's, you said?
Zingerman's. It's supposed to be one of the great. I've only went once.
That's all I heard.
One of the greatest
sandwiches.
Sandwich spots in the entire country.
Like what kind of sandwich?
You name it. You want a Reuben? You want a turkey sandwich? You want a tuna sandwich? I mean, like deli sandwiches, but like it is a whole. I'm sure Michigan fans are watching. And if you want to send us some Zingermans, wait a couple months, send it to L.A. We'll be meeting us there.
I'll give you my home address. I
want that too. I do.
Be careful. You don't know who may show up there. To your point, J.J. McCarthy, he went to the Combine. You talk about the interview with Rich Eisen. He did all the things that you're supposed to do leading up to his pro day, and everybody's been able to get eyes on him. Jaden Daniels, Drake May didn't throw at the Combine. I want to see Drake May. I feel like he's been a figure throughout this entire draft process where at some points you'll hear people like Tim Hasselbeck, Phil Perry, who's out in Boston, NBC, and they're saying, you know what? I look at this Drake May kid, and he's my top prospect at the quarterback position in the entire draft over Caleb Williams. So you'll hear that, and then you'll hear other people say, you know what? He's raw, he's inconsistent. We see some of the magnificent plays with the big arm and his size and all of those things, but we're not seeing the production every single time's out. So I don't really know if he's worth a top 3 pick. Will the pro day decide that? No, but it's another opportunity to see him out there in the T-shirt, in the shorts. To your point, Shregs, rolls out of bed and just throws the ball 60 yards. Well, I want to see him up there throwing that thing 60 yards and finishing his pro day with an absolute bomb and throwing it down the field. But I think it's another opportunity just to see him out there, which you didn't get to see at the Combine. And then I think on top of that, you look at him and you look at McCown, who is going to be with the Minnesota Vikings, who coached him in high school. And there's that connection that everybody's talking about. Pro day is another opportunity to see all the people in the background, who's showing up to his pro day, who's getting a chance to see him there in person.
Peter, get ready.
Get ready, Peter. We're going to have it. Peter's going to be naming every single person and texting me who everybody is.
I'll tell you though, honestly though, the USC thing yesterday, you had like your USC Mafia. You had Matt Leinart was there, and Mark Sanchez was there, and you had a lot of the Fox Sports. Like, there is a Michigan mafia as well of guys in the media who might be flying in for that, agents who have connections, all this stuff. So you have to keep your eyes and ears open and see at those pro days who's in the background. It's going to be tomorrow. I think it's going to be a showcase also.
It's definitely
I might have to go there just so I can go to Zingerman's.
Dude,
I'm stuck on it.
Zingerman's.
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Count me in. I'm glad you brought up Drake May. I'm going to hit on J.J. McCarthy, but for Drake May, I had a chance to meet him. Dude, I didn't realize how tall he was.
He's huge.
Like, he's a big dude.
6'5".
I had a chance to meet him and his father. Great people. So I'm rooting for him. I think he's going to light it up because, as you mentioned, he's got a big arm. The thing for J.J. McCarthy is, like, he played in the same offense his entire career. So a product of the system, whatever label you want to call it. The Pro Day is going to be a great chance for him to just really show off, hey, look, some of those big throws that you were mentioning, because it's ironic that a lot of the highlights we were just showing, those balls were underthrown. Like, so can he make that big throw? Can he make that throw under duress, and can he still get the ball to where it needs to go? I think JJ has the most ground to gain as far as traction.
Yeah.
If he goes out and just lights it up, it's like, okay, hey, you know what? He's even better in person than what we've seen on tape. The national championship stuff is great, but like he could check another box for that. So I think it's going to be really important for him to have a great showing, to have a great day, and show off that arm strength. Like, don't leave anything left in the barrel.
But he also threw at the combine, so we did see J.J. McCarthy already. And Drake May, we didn't, but teams also have more tape on him because he had a really good 2022 season and a 23 season as well. But for Jaden Daniels, he kind of came on the scene last season, and he didn't do anything at the combine. He didn't test, he didn't work out, he didn't do any measurements.
He didn't get measured. That's
exactly.
Didn't step on the scale.
Right. So there's going to be a ton of eyeballs on him at his pro day, and he said that it was less about him not doing anything at the combine, more about his teammates, because he knew that more teams were going to show up at his pro day if he didn't do anything at the combine. And he wants to showcase guys like Malik Neighbors, who also did not do anything at the combine at all. He wants this for his guys just as much as he wants this for himself. And the fact that teams already have tape on Drake May and they've already seen J.J. McCarthy throw, I think for Jaden Daniels, this is a huge opportunity for not only him, but for all of his guys around him at LSU.
I'm intrigued the fact that, like you just said, his measurements, you said, hey, he didn't step on the scale. Typically, you think, like, if I'm a slighter-built guy and I have maybe weight and they're talking about it's a big thing, you show up to the combine, you don't do anything.
Big as you could be.
As big as you possibly can
be. Heavy.
Don't do
Put on that Leonard Fournette water weight.
Step on the scale.
Such a good idea.
Weigh in. I don't have to run. I don't have to throw. Don't do. Now, weigh in, do all that, drink the shakes and all that. And now when I go to pro day, I'm at whatever my playing size is. I'm not going to do my measurements again. I'm not stepping on the scale. You guys already got that. And now I go out there, let it loose. If he decides to run, whatever the case it may be. But now that's a time where now it's just all about my production and going out there, showing my ability. So that's a interesting fact that he did.
Because I remember Jordan Davis, when he came out, and that's a total opposite.
Yeah.
He had slimmed down a significant amount for the combine. They're like, dude, he's lost 30 pounds since his playing days at Georgia. And it's like, all right, well, that's the number we have on him. And of course, he could put it back on. For a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, who's I mean, look, Emmanuel Forbes showed up to the combine and weighed in at what last year? 166, 167? And that's like, all right, still went in the first round. For Jaden Daniels, that's your opportunity to be as big and as bloated and as heavy as you possibly can.
Have all the sandwiches you want.
Yes, and you could absolutely work out for 2 months to prepare for that, and then you could just come. So for him not to do that, and if he doesn't do it at his pro day, and he doesn't look to want to do it at the workout, I don't know. It's not everyone's cup of tea, a quarterback, especially after Bryce Young last year, who's going to be under 190 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good strategy. I like that. You're really onto something,
the strategy's done.
No, but I mean, like, to do the opposite, to bulk up if that is what the issue is, show up, get measured, all of that, and then slim down for your pro day.
I had a buddy at Rutgers, skinny wide receiver. He was pounding shakes. He weighed in. He instantly went threw it all up and then went and ran his 40. He knew he was a small guy. My guy, Taekwon Underwood, he's now coaching in New England. But he knew, and he was just trying to get to probably like 175 to weigh in to show.
He could have stuffed the 5-pound plate in the fro.
He didn't have it at that point. He didn't have it at that point.